Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
We interrupt our programming. This is a national emergency. The following message is transmitted at the request of the United States government. This is not a test.
Oh my God, that is funny!
I just can't take no pleasure in killing.
Welcome to Killer Comedy Radio.
We all go a little mad sometimes.
Playoffs? We'll talk about playoffs? You kidding me? I just hope we can win a game.
I am the Golden God! I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds!
I know the human being and fish can coexist peacefully.
Yes. Exactly. I think you can hear the couch creaking too. Alright, now.
Well, then we have to stay very still while we record this. We're watching all these blue little lines that are the digital representations of our voices. We got a little friend in here.
I gotta get a screen for that window.
Yeah,
getting little guys that see the lights and want to come in.
It's just a little guy.
Yeah.
So this is our intro for the episode 6 of Killer Comedy Radio.
Yuba 5. What was your question?
Is there a movie that's both a sports movie and a horror movie?
Yeah, I don't think there is. I think there's some that are elements of both, but I could be wrong though. Okay, well, I guess we should get into it then.
Yeah, assume the position.
You ready?
Both us and you, our listener. We hope you find yourselves well this evening. We have a very special topic for you tonight.
We do. We were going to do it last time, but our third guy wasn't here, and he's not here again, because he's having a kid.
Yeah, having a kid does that to you.
Yeah.
It really, kind of like a time vampire.
Yeah, we're going to talk about a bunch of stuff today.
We're going to talk about at least 5 things.
Yes.
And at least 5 of them are from Yuba. Or died there? Bench, tell me all about the Yuba 5.
They are the Yuba 5, okay. Yes, they are from Yuba. They're all from Yuba. So it's a very unfortunate story. Back in the 70s, 1978 to be exact. Actually, we should tell them today's date.
Today's date?
Well, it's after midnight, so it's
that would make it
23rd
of June.
And it's Sunday.
In this year.
It's the Lord's Day.
At least one of them, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he won't be showing up tonight.
It's 2019.
Yes.
Which means this happened a long time ago.
Yeah.
What we are about to discuss is a part of the folk legendary of American true crime and unsolved mysteries.
Yeah, there was a lot of weird stuff going on in the 70s too, around that area of California. So this one actually didn't really get a lot of news time, but it
it wasn't covered much. It was overshadowed.
Yes,
by something else.
That's a good word. February 22nd, 1978. Put yourself there. You're in Northern Cali in Yuba County.
Right, all those redwoods all around, all of those... where's Yuba, exactly?
It's just north of Sacramento, actually.
North of Sacramento. Where's Sacramento?
That is in Northern California.
Northern California.
I believe, right?
I'm going to have to take your word for it. I have not looked at a map today.
Okay. Well, it's just south of Chico. 50 miles from Chico, to be exact.
So it's kind of, is this the foothills of the Sierras or the mountain range that they're a part of?
Yeah,
it's in mountainous terrain. It's a little further out.
Yeah. It's in the woods, lots of wooded area. But
those lovely, cool, temperate woods, which used to be a paradise to the indigenous people of this country until they were all killed or kicked off their land.
Precisely, it's actually just west of Reno, Nevada, in Carson City. So there was 5 people. 5. They called them the 5 Yuba boys, even though they were all almost 30. One of them was 32. One of them was 30. So 5 guys.
Man, children, everything. Just saying.
All right. Gary Mathias, 25. Bill Sterling, 29. Jack Hewitt, 24. Ted Weir, 32. And Jack Madruga, age 30. They were all part of a basketball team. It was kind of like a youth group type thing. Or vocational rehab for handicapped. They were all pretty much a little mentally handicapped, but we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yeah, so we have 5 strapping young men from Yuba County, California, all in their mid-20s, all brought together by their love of the game, their love of the ball.
They love basketball. They love dribbling and whatnot. What else do you do in basketball?
They could all be described as neurodivergent.
Slow.
I think is the current preferred term for these things. But yeah, they kind of had a smorgasbord of different conditions that they were.
All right, let's get into that. So,
afflicted
number
by.
one, Gary Mathias, he had schizophrenia, but he was medicated for it. He's an Army vet. I'm not really sure what he did in the Army. I don't think he did that much. He has driver's license, so maybe he was a driver.
Well, what year? This is 1978, so
Yes.
he was probably serving, given his age, he was probably serving in Vietnam, either during or adjacent to the time that people were deployed over there.
So
the
anyway,
war was going on. Gary
Mathias, he was discharged from the Army for basic drug problems and mental health issues. He was a landscaper for a while. Many people think that he did have PTSD, which would make a lot of sense. Okay, and the next guy, Bill Sterling, 29. He was very religious, obviously, but he would go around spreading the good word. He was a dishwasher on a military base. They gave him $15 a week, and the soldiers would actually get him drunk and steal his money. And so his mom put an end to that.
Rude.
Yeah.
Though then you have to ask the question, how much money did they spend getting him drunk? Did they even
it was
break
probably,
even
I think,
on his $15 a week allowance? Although then again,
I don't think it was a business decision. I think it was just for their entertainment.
$15 a week, on the other hand, goes a pretty long ways back in 1978.
That's true.
Some of these guys, probably sent their kids to college on ripping this guy off.
Yeah, so his mother basically showed up and removed him from there, made him quit. But,
then he probably got a lot of nasty nicknames after that.
Yep, so that's how those two grew up. This just sounds brutal. The third guy, Jack Hewitt, 24, he couldn't read, write, or even dial a telephone. Had a speech impediment, was the slowest of them all. That's what most people would categorize. Because this is 1978. A lot of this stuff is just undiagnosed mental illness. So, retards getting thrown around a lot and everything that I've researched about it.
Yeah, people didn't have the language that we have, for sure.
Yeah.
And that also means that the dog, because they didn't have the same social support structures to keep track of them and keep care of them, a lot of the time, if they did or didn't have, whether or not they had or didn't have a diagnosis, they didn't really have a caseworker that was necessarily following up on them frequently.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys were all part of a program that kind of looked after them.
Yeah.
And other people liked them.
All right, so Jack Hewitt.
So there was something going on, at least.
He actually hated being away from home. He didn't like to leave ever. He didn't like... just basically being away from home for long periods of time. He also had an IQ of 40.
So what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know what that. It's just they were actually all described as quote unquote homebodies. They didn't like going far. They like to stay in Yuba. They played all their basketball games there, or they go up to Chico to do that. And fourth guy, Ted Weir, 32. Apparently, a lot of people described him as very handsome.
Oh,
yeah, but he had a big beer belly. This guy actually sounds really fun.
So if they were gonna go do like a heist or something, like they were gonna go, like sneak in and rip off a rival team's, cash box or something, I guess that's probably what they're qualified to do. Ted Weir would be the face.
Yes,
he would be the fixer. He
I'll tell you
know
what,
how to talk to people.
He loved talking to people way too much.
He'd crush you with charm while you're robbed blind behind your back.
So Ted Weir, he's the man. People say he lacked common sense, which they all kind of did. He was really good friends with Bill, though, Bill Sterling. Apparently, he would call Bill from his house to laugh at funny names they found in the phone book. And that's it. That's what this guy would do. He would just call up his friends and just start reading funny names from the phone book.
How come people don't do that anymore? Remember when back when everybody was living in the moment, nobody was on their phones calling each other, telling each other weird names they found in the phone book.
This sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, things just aren't like they always were anymore.
He would also yell. He would yell at stop signs.
Why?
Because they were telling him what to do, and he didn't like to be told what to do. So they would pull up to a stop sign, and it would get him really angry, and he would yell at it. He's like, why do I have to stop? Why?
I mean, they're big and red and white, and those are fascist colors.
He also liked to wave at random strangers, like really aggressively, and if they didn't wave back, he would get pissed. And it would that's all he would talk about for the next hour.
So he was an asshole.
I don't know if that's the right word, but he was definitely an interesting guy. Last guy, Jack Madruga, age 30.
Madruga!
Jack Madruga. This guy...
What a good name.
Yeah. This guy's pretty cool. He's an Army vet. He was also slow, but he was probably, like, the most intellectual out of all of them.
Or the most competent, or the most capable of living day to day.
Yeah. He actually had his driver's license too, and he had a '69 Mercury Montego, which was his prized possession. He loved that fucking car. He wouldn't let anyone drive it. He was the only one. He also suffered from schizophrenia. A quote from his parents: "He was not retarded." That's what his parents said about him.
All right.
And again, another possible PTSD, because he was in the Army.
You know, parents frequently have the best idea of what is going on with their child, at least some of the time.
Yeah. So this stuff all happened the night before they had a big game, like the next day. All their parents were telling, because this was late at night, they were going out, and all their parents kept saying, like, "Oh, don't go out there, like there's a big storm."
So where were they going exactly that everybody was yelling at?
They were going to Chico. Because they wanted to see a college basketball game.
And so between Yuba and Chico, I guess, is Yuba a county or is it a city or what is it?
I believe it's a small little city.
Okay.
Yeah, they were going to go out and I think like see some one of their friends' teams play.
Yeah, and I mean they're driving across the highway.
Yeah,
but it's still up in the mountains, and if it starts to snow can really start to just bury the shit out of everything around there.
It was weird.
We're talking about like 10 feet deep snowfalls in this region of the world.
So their parents were saying, like, as they left, they were just like, "Why are you boys going out so late? Like, you never do this, and you have a big game tomorrow. Don't go." They kept telling them not to go, and they were just like, "Oh, we're going." And then they're like, "Well, at least bring your jacket." And they said no. So they didn't bring any jackets or anything.
Well, so there's our first mystery.
Oh no! Well, that's
what compelled them to journey into the mountains.
Because they're real men. Night. Real men. They got chest hair. Keep them warm.
Do you have a source for that?
No.
Okay. Also, let me tell you, as somebody with a lot of chest hair, it really does not help as much as you think it does.
No, I barely have chest hair. It doesn't help at all.
You're not missing much.
It was kind of weird for them to even go out that night.
You would say it was behavior that was uncharacteristic of their habits and preferences.
Yes.
Like whatever they like to do for fun, whatever they do, just living their lives in Yuba, this was a little bit out of the ordinary. This was a bit of a break in the pattern.
Whenever they would go and do something like this, they would always come back. They were always back by the time they said. They were very punctual about it. The parents didn't really worry. They were just like, you boys. You boys. Fast forward to the morning, their parents wake up. No one's in their bedrooms. So the parents start calling each other, saying like, "Hey, did Jack come home? Oh no, did Bill come home? Nope, no one's home. No one came home." Again, it's not like them to do anything like this. They called the police. They didn't find anything until February 28th. So this happened on February 24th. They didn't find their car until the 28th.
Yeah, so what were conditions like up there? What had happened that made it so hard for them to be found?
They were just so far away from where they were supposed to be. Oh, man, I think it was like 7 miles away from, it wasn't even near Chico where they found the car. And by the way, when they found the car, there was no one in the car. So at this point, they've already been gone for 4 days, just missing. So they found the car on the side of the road. No damage to the car. No one inside the car. There were also snacks inside it that were not eaten.
Snacks?
Yes.
Like old-timey snacks that they had in 1978?
Yes, exactly.
Like a
Actually, I
Zagnut?
can tell you exactly what they got.
Quisp. You got any Quisp? Any Force Flaked Corn? No, that was 1878.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, that was a little before their time.
Well, let's back up a little bit. 10 p.m. the night they disappeared, they leave the game. Their team won.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah, so their favorite team won. Apparently 3 blocks away at a convenience store named Bear's Market. They stopped and got some of those old-timey snacks we were talking about.
Yeah, what'd they get?
Well, first of all, the clerk was pissed because she was just about to close up shop. She was shutting everything down.
Oh, that's so typical. It's 11:59. You're up in the mountains.
Yeah, 5 boys
station.
come in.
Yeah, you're mopping the floors and then hooting and hollering. Just high on victory. Their blood is up. The craven munchies.
He's probably waving at you, and if you don't,
yeah, this dude
back.
Is aggressively waving at you. One person just clearly does not want to be there. Definitely haven't got all their ducks in a row.
All right, so what they bought a Hostess cherry pie, a Snickers bar, a Marathon bar.
Marathon bar. 2 bottles of water. No, 2 bottles of Coke and a quarter gallon of milk. Yeah. So they had some sustenance. And I guess when they found the car, everything had been eaten except for a couple things for some reason. So after that, they started driving back to Yuba, or so they thought. Apparently, they got turned around. They find the car. It was actually a U.S. forest worker that found Jack Madruga's 69 Mercury Montego nearby. All the food had been eaten and no signs of the boys inside. No keys were found in the car, but when police hotwired it, it started fine. There was still a quarter tank of gas in the tank. So there was no question of it working or not. There was no reason for them to ever get out of the car.
It worked fine.
It could have gotten them wherever they needed to go.
It was on the side of the road, and it seemed to be stuck a little bit, but not that much. Because they're 5 big guys, able-bodied. So they could have just moved it.
So they didn't try to push it out of the ditch.
Yeah, because the police just hotwired it, started right up, still got gas. They got it out easily. Also, the car had no damage to the undercarriage or the body of the car. They didn't hit anything. Everything was working fine. Why abandon the fucking car? That's the question.
You got a couple of them that are traumatized, a couple of them that are on meds for schizophrenia, a couple of them that are, just a little behind the curve. I could absolutely see a situation where one of them starts talking about, hey, wouldn't it be terrible if we got into car trouble?
Yeah.
And another person just kind of assumes they just got car trouble and they get into a huge screaming argument about it.
Yeah, and then
have to stop because they assume they have car trouble. They just kind of talk themselves into it.
Yeah, they were also heading in the completely wrong direction. They were going north.
They were going
farther
north.
Yeah. And they were already way away from home.
They get lost. They assume their car is going to break down. This is the weather is getting pretty bad. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
This is in the middle of a fairly snowy season in this area.
Yeah. So no sign of the boys. They found the car 4 days after, and so investigators spent the next 3 months searching the surrounding area, and even at one point requested the help of a psychic.
Psychic.
Yes. Who claimed to see 5, and I guess this is in a vision, she claimed to see 5 bodies in green canvas bags. Irrelevant to the story because they never found that. And also they brought in a body witcher.
Sorry, a what?
A body witcher.
Witcher? Oh, like a witching stick?
Yeah. They have the magic rods.
Yeah, people try to find water in the desert, but in this case, they try to find the water that's still inside this rotting human carcass.
Yep, I guess.
Well, okay, that is a thing that a person can get paid for if they set their mind to it.
Surprise! It didn't work.
It's a thing that a person cannot get paid for if they set their mind to it.
All right, so
they can try.
So now we get to this next dude, this guy Joseph Shones. Okay, this is kind of, I don't even know really why this is in here. But apparently this was a big part of it. Finally, investigators received a tip from a 55-year-old man named Joseph Shones, who claimed to be on that same road the same night they disappeared. According to him, he was scouting the road conditions to see if it was safe enough to bring his family for a vacation. Apparently it wasn't. He got his car stuck, and while trying to free it, suffered a minor heart attack. So he ended up spending the night in his car. And all this happened around 150 feet of where they found...
What exactly is a minor heart attack? Like he's just seized with gripping pains in his chest and feels himself blacking out, but just decides to ride it out? I guess he's a million miles from anywhere. He would probably just crash if he had one.
He's a 55-year-old guy. It was to the point where he couldn't even... He had to sleep in his car.
Yeah. That's got to be a pretty distressing thing.
And this whole happened... Like I said, 150 feet from where Jack Madruga's car was found, so he was almost there. Around 11 p.m., Joseph said that the dude who had the heart attack, he said he heard shouting down the road. He was like, oh, finally, people who can help me. He claims that he saw one car, one truck with its lights on, 5 men, and a girl with a baby. The headlights quickly disappeared, as did the voices. Other leads all fell short. And they didn't match the descriptions of the boys, anyone who had seen them. So, yeah. Joseph Shones, sorry, man. That sucks.
So, does this imply the existence of a separate Yuba 7? Who we also
No.
have never figured out who they are or where they are?
Joseph Jones survived. He's fine.
Well, yeah, he's fine, but he saw 7 people who were not seen that night, only 150 feet from the car of
Yes,
the original
but he
Yuba
also
5.
just had a small heart attack.
So it's actually the Yuba 12. But he did have a small heart attack, so who knows what he saw
he's seeing
in his
what-
delirious
yeah.
state. You know, the human mind has all sorts of perceptual filters, and I just want to say the figure, the headlights of a truck beaming through the falling snow, a woman with a child, these are often, these can be things that have been filtered through our perceptions and our subconscious to make sense to us.
Aliens.
What is this? Yeah, it could have been easily, it could have been an alien spacecraft and an alien woman with a human-alien hybrid baby that she had made with the DNA of the Yuba 5 before disintegrating them.
Ooh, I like that.
I think they also eat the liver. I think they eat the liver.
Oh, it's good for you.
If they're from Zeta Reticuli, they eat the liver. I have that
Zeta
on good
Reticuli.
authority.
You know people from Zeta Reticuli.
No, I definitely don't, thank God. I mean, I don't think...
Well, are they people?
That is a very good question. You know who were definitely people? The Yuba 5.
Yes, they were people. Now they're dead people. They had over 6,000 combined hours of searching. They used dogs, horses, helicopters, search parties, everything. But it was a really bad storm. That winter they had 15-foot snowdrifts. Not a very a fun time. But they did eventually recover bodies. And this is the next part we'll get into. So, a small group of bikers... Well, I'm assuming they weren't small bikers, but it was a small group of bikers.
Yeah. People can't ride bikes if they're too small.
So they were out on a Sunday ride, and they came across a very foul-smelling U.S. Forest Service worksite near Bucks Lake, which is 19.4 miles from where they discovered Madruga's Mercury Montego. This was 20 miles away.
That's pretty impressive.
Jesus Christ. The site had a 60-foot trailer with a broken window in the front, which someone had shattered trying to gain entry. Upon gaining access to the trailer, officials found empty cans of food, extra clothing, books, and Ted Weir's dead body.
Oh my.
Yep. So Ted, he was the first. He probably was the first to go. And I think the other guys just kind of
walk us through the sequence of events here. Like, what do we know exactly?
So they walk in.
We find Ted Weir who's deceased.
The place smells like a dead body. They walk in, they find a dead body. So Ted Weir's body. I guess the sheriff said the whole place just smelled like death. Ted's body.
It's been there for about how long?
A couple
4 months at this
couple
point.
Months, yeah. So Ted's body was discovered on a bed covered in 8 layers of blankets. With his hands resting on his chest, his pants had been rolled up, up to his knees. He also had no shoes on. So I think he may have... Well, he definitely had, trench foot, or whatever you call that. Gangrene.
Yeah, the flesh had, rotted away, basically.
Yeah. I think he also had pneumonia, or what they call wet lung. But yeah, the condition of his legs showed obvious signs of gangrene and blood poisoning, as well as 5 toes lost to frostbite. My dude lost 5 toes.
Those are things that can kill very, very quickly.
Forensic analysis of Ted's beard growth indicates he survived 4 to 6 weeks after going missing.
Which is kind of incredible because they found the car, 4 days after the missing?
Yeah, 3 days,
boys
4
were reported?
days, yeah.
So he was living well after they found their car. They just couldn't go anywhere else out there.
They hiked goddamn 20 miles to this fucking place.
Yeah.
To this trailer. During which...
They got completely off their path.
Yeah, it said it looked like he had shed about 80 to 100 pounds from his 5'11", 200-pound frame.
Yeah, and of course, no cell phones back then. There probably wasn't a phone in this trailer he was in, so he's completely isolated.
Yep. On the table next to him, they found a brown leather wallet, a ring with Ted inscribed in it, and a bead necklace. There was also a yellow metal watch that Weir's family said wasn't his. I don't know where that came from. But here's the weird thing. There was plenty of food there. Plenty of food in the trailer. They found 31 cans of food from an outside storage locker that had all been opened and emptied. They found no fingerprints on them. It says that they found no signs of them trying to start a fire. Another locker full of food that would have lasted them an entire year was found completely unopened.
Well, if it's just Ted and he's dying of frostbite and blood poisoning because his legs are rotting off and they're kicking infections straight to his heart and his brain, then, he's not going to eat that food after a while. So that makes sense. But where was everybody else during this?
I think, they didn't find his shoes.
Yeah, so he probably... sounds like he lost his shoes shortly after they got out of the car. He walks 15 to 20 miles in freezing snow to this place with no shoes on.
Maybe someone wanted
frostbite.
his shoes.
Maybe somebody wanted his shoes.
Maybe they all went to the cabin, or some of them did, and all of a sudden Ted Weir is pretty much dying, and he kicks the bucket. So then someone's like, oh, his shoes are actually a lot better than mine. I'm going to take his shoes.
How good can they be if they just got frostbite because of them?
It's true.
And, whatever shoes he had on, they probably were not the sort of boots you want to walk through a 15-foot snowdrift in. And that's what they were doing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there was plenty of food
there.
It's
really small wonder he died the way he did.
There was also gas heat that they could have turned on, but they didn't. Maybe you just didn't know how to do it, because the propane tank outside the trailer could have provided them.
And keep in mind, he just walked 20 miles through the snow, or thereabouts. He collapses into this trailer. His feet are literally falling off his body, and to begin with, like they said, he didn't have very much common sense.
Oh, I forgot one thing.
It's probably not...
Gary Mathias's sneakers were found in the trailer with him. And Weir's tougher leather shoes were gone. So yeah, at least him and Gary Mathias were in there. Do you think he switched shoes with him?
It sounds like they had themselves a little shoe swap before they died.
Yeah, so it looks like there was two of them in the trailer together. Who knows what happened to the other guys? Well, we know.
I hope we're about to find out, because you're going to tell us.
Yes. All right. On to the finale. So they found one body. They still got 4 others that are missing. They're still doing their search parties. Bill Sterling and Jack Madruga's bodies were found 2 days after Ted Weir's, 8 miles closer to the car on opposite sides of the road leading to the trailer. They had been ripped apart by animals. Or at least their remains had been ripped apart by animals. There was nothing left of Bill Sterling but his bones scattered across the woodland floor. Same with Jack Madruga. I'm assuming they had hypothermia. That's what it's kind of sounding like. His body was dragged to a nearby stream. His car keys to his 69 Mercury Montego were found in his pants pocket. So he died with his keys, at least.
He'll be driving that 69 Mercury Montego in heaven.
Yep. So that's 4 of the bodies that are found.
We still have one more guy. What is his name? Jack Hewitt, right?
Well, actually, that's 3 of the bodies. Jack Hewitt was... they still haven't found him. His father, before they went out, because now they had found those other 2 dead bodies, they were just like, okay, we're going to keep living in this same area. And Jack Hewitt's father actually insisted on being on the search party. But everyone kept telling him, like, no, you don't want to be the one who finds your son's dead body. They were just like, stay home, we'll take care of it. But
did he listen?
No, he did not. So he went out with them in the search party. So on June 8th, the elder Jack Hewitt, his father, spotted his son's jacket. Not far from the trailer, actually. He recognized the shirt. He picked it up, and Jack's spine fell out of it. So his father found his son's spinal cord.
Oh, that's going to be way too intense an experience.
Yeah. They also found a bunch of his teeth 50 feet away from the body. So that's pretty fucking rough.
Yeah, I think I would not... If I were going to inadvertently star in like a Predator movie, I would not want my own son to be the first victim. Or if they were, I would want them to have a stunt double.
So that's the 4 of the bodies found, and that only leaves Gary Mathias. He's the only one that's left now, and they never found him. Never found his body. So technically, he's still missing. I think it's pretty safe to say he.
I think it's safe to say he fed well that winter.
I think he's pushing up daisies right about now. So yeah, that's the story of the Yuba 5. Not the most uplifting story I've ever told.
Well, it's clearly not the whole story either.
I don't think we're ever going to know the whole story.
We'll never know what Gary Matthias endured that night without finding his body or forensic evidence of his wanderings. We don't know who those other 7 people that James Shaughnessy saw.
No. Joseph Shones.
Joseph Shones.
Yes.
Same diff.
The 55-year-old who suffered a minor stroke or heart attack.
Yeah, you know, when he was staring at, when he was looking down the tunnel at that light in the distance, you know, mother with babe, that could be Jesus in the arms of the Virgin Mary.
It could have been someone just driving by and they saw Jack Madruga's car, and so they just stopped and it was empty.
Yeah, they could have been. It could have been their rival team from Chico.
It could have been them. These motherfuckers
Come to run them to field after a terrible loss in their basketball game. Could have been aliens. Aliens could have infiltrated the rival team from Chico.
I think that's the most likely scenario right now, is aliens.
Yeah.
Who did you think it was? It was that group of people? The aliens.
Well, the ones who I mentioned earlier, the Zeta Reticuloids?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it was them.
Who is that? What is that?
They're the guys. They're the Greys. They're the Greys.
Oh, the Greys.
They're either very big or very small, but they're very skinny. They have no nose. They have a slit mouth. They have those massive eyes. It almost looks like they are like a puppet rather than a real living creature. Like something is driving it around, is what some people have claimed to have observed in them. People who have worked, in these alleged secret government bases and hybrid farms and underground cities and everything.
Did they have anything to do with the Men in Black?
Like the movies?
No,
I don't think they were consulted for the movies.
No, no, not Will Smith.
In the real world, Men in Black. Well, absolutely,
the quote unquote real world.
Yeah, well, because there's the whole phenomenon of the Men in Black, which other podcasters have covered ad nauseum. But the Men in Black, they could be a member of the government agency. They could be, also like the UFOs, a product of our collective subconscious. They exist because we expect to see them, and so our mind creates them in the world for us to interact with.
We're very paranoid.
This could be the mask that our mind has created for something that we cannot comprehend, or the mask that something has created for itself so that we can comprehend them as they wish to be comprehended.
Hence Joseph Shones.
Joseph Shones might have been being taken for a ride.
He was absolutely useless in this story. He didn't do shit.
Well, he was having a heart attack.
Well, yeah, that's true. But he didn't offer any help to the information, really. When I was reading about that, I was just like, who's this guy? Like, what? He has nothing to do with this.
It's kind of surprising that he saw anything at all, considering they were 150 feet away in the snow.
Yeah.
It's very surprising that he saw the Virgin Mary and baby Jesus. Having just come down from Alpha Centauri in their magical space truck.
It's a long drive.
It's even more surprising that she was collaborating with the Chico 5 to assassinate the Yuba 5. And what's even more alarming is that Gary Matthias was a traitor.
I'm pretty sure it was a women's team, too. Women's college hoop.
Well, hell hath no fury. As a women's college basketball team.
Oh, what was the name of that team? I think, who the fuck was it? It was UC Davis versus Chico. I don't know the name of their team. Chico won. They beat UC Davis.
Well, wait, so who were these guys playing for? Who were the Yuba 5 playing for? UC Davis or Chico?
I don't think they were associated. That was a college game.
Oh, they were just going to watch.
They were just going to watch, yeah.
Oh.
Their game was
another complication. What if they saw something that they were not meant to see?
That's true.
What if something happened at that game?
Yeah, see, they played for a rec league for Yuba City Vocational Rehab for Handicap.
What if it wasn't a game at all?
I think it was a game. Why would they...
You think this is a game? What if local basketball fans were lured to Chico with the promise of witnessing a genuine college basketball game, when really they were herded into the Chico arena, they were deloused, forced to strip, locked in tiny cages, and implanted with hybrid butt babies.
All right.
Because they're men, they don't have uteri. They have to have a gestate somewhere in their digestive tract.
And from there, speaking of basketball,
we were speaking of basketball. That's exactly what we were talking about. Yes.
Sports Corner.
Sports Corner. You mean we haven't been in the Sports Corner this whole time?
Nope.
Wow, you could have fooled me. Well, what's in the sports corner today?
Well, we haven't recorded in
quite a while.
Like a month.
A month, maybe 2.
So there's been a lot that's happened, especially last week. Last week with the Game 7.
Yeah, the wheels of sports never stop turning.
Game 7 NHL final on Wednesday. Unfortunately, my Bruins lost. We played an awful game. Terrible, terrible game. And I say we because I played on that team too. I put my goddamn effort in. Why didn't they? Why didn't they? But congrats to the St. Louis Blues, I guess. It's their first time winning a championship for the franchise. Their first time even being in the final. Yeah, it's cool to see a team win. And then the next day, we had the NBA Finals with the Toronto Raptors and Golden State Warriors. And congratulations to the Toronto Raptors, who won their first NBA title also, as well as the Blues. Well, that was NHL. But,
wow,
you know,
so it's been a month of new dynasties.
Yes.
Political intrigue in the world of sports.
And that was, I think, the Warriors' fourth consecutive year being in the finals. I didn't want to see him win another one in a row, so it was nice to see Kawhi Leonard step up like that. I hope he stays in Toronto. I really do. We'll see what happens, though. Yeah, sorry, Golden State. You blew it.
Kawhi is extremely cute.
He is pretty cute.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kawhi Leonard, who's the series MVP. So, congratulations to all them. Also, do you know who Le'Veon Bell is? The running back for the Jets?
Yeah, he's the running back for the Jets.
Okay, yeah. Well, he just got robbed by both his girlfriends.
Wow.
Yeah. So apparently he had 2 girlfriends juggling them.
Okay. So that actually answers what I was going to ask, is what did he do to deserve that?
Yeah. So I don't know if they didn't know about each other, or maybe they did, because one time he just he came back to his home, apartment, whatever, and all his jewelry was gone. And both girls were gone. I guess they stole like thousands of dollars worth of really nice jewelry. So I don't know if they both knew each other and they were both just like, hey, you know, fuck this guy. Let's just play the part for right now, and then we'll just rob the dude.
You know, they could have met that day for the first time, and I think they still would have kind of reasoned it out.
Yeah, there would have been like...
It's not either their fault. They know who the problem is.
It's like, instead of us just being mad at each other, fuck this guy. Let's work as a team here. Let's rob this dude blind. And
Someone
then
needs
just
to
fuck
make
off.
a movie about these women.
Or maybe they even knew from the start. Like, they were just like...
What an inspirational story.
Maybe, like, one started dating Le'Veon, and then she had a friend, and she was like, hey, you should start dating him too, and then we'll just fucking... Or she could have just robbed him or something.
Oh, so you're thinking they could have entrapped him from the get-go?
Yeah, maybe.
That would be interesting. They would have needed to, plant themselves at the right place at the right time or something.
Yeah. Sorry, Le'Veon.
I don't know. I mean, is that more likely than him just, having a side chick?
But then they both disappear after.
Well, yeah, they just committed a felony.
Yeah.
And, they were dating a very high-profile celebrity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would disappear. If I just ripped off somebody who gets paid millions of dollars a year.
Yeah.
Works for the NFL.
I don't feel bad for Le'Veon at all, but... Yeah, what are you doing? Like, why... Well, I guess having 2 girlfriends, like, whatever. He's a high-profile celebrity, like you said. Guess you think you can pretty much get away with anything. Oh, my God. Anthony Davis going to the Lakers. Remember how I was talking to you about LeBron going out to all these dinners, trying to, like, all these, like, high-end dinners and inviting other NBA players out, like Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook from other teams? And how I was trying to explain to you what tampering is.
Yeah, you probably told me about this.
Yeah.
I'm sure the audience remembers as well.
So I don't know how that's not tampering. That's like the definition of it. And now they just trade for Anthony Davis.
What was that? What they were actually talking about?
I guess you don't know.
Can you prove they weren't simply discussing their delicious meal or their shared love of Renaissance sculpture?
But LeBron does this to every team he goes to. He just tries to basically be like the GM or like the head coach. He's like, I'm going to get my guys in the building. Like, he basically runs the team.
I mean, he's going to be on the court with them.
Yeah. So he'll like talk to the coach. He's just like, all right, these are the guys we need to go out and get. And then all of a sudden, those names he's having like high-end dinners with, and then they end up trading for one of
So
them.
he's kind of like assembling like a squad, like Ocean's 11.
He's trying to do like an Avengers type thing with the
Yeah,
Lakers.
yeah.
Because the Lakers didn't even make the playoffs last year. That's the first time
the
LeBron's...
Avengers, like those British super spies from the 60s.
Exactly.
So LeBron James is like Austin Powers, kind of.
I guess you could say that, in a way.
And so then the rest of his team is like Felicity Shagwell from Austin Powers
Felicity
2.
Shagwell.
Or Foxy Cleopatra from
Foxy
Austin
Cleopatra.
Powers 3.
A lot of Fashina from, I think that was the second one.
No, they were never on the same team.
Oh no, who's the blonde one?
That was Felicity Shagwell.
Who was the British one in the first one?
That was that was the legacy character. That was from the original Austin Powers.
Yeah.
I actually can't remember her name whatsoever. I think it was Kate Beckinsale reprising her role from Underworld.
It was not Kate Beckinsale.
Then I don't remember.
She was British.
Yeah, they're both British. That's why I got confused.
Well, the other two girls aren't British. Beyonce is not British.
No, she's not.
And neither is the other girl who... Can't remember her name. The blonde one.
Not so far as we know. Though she might have had a Yank accent. Or a Yankcent, for short. It's certainly not like we could just like look this up on IMDb on our phones right now.
Yeah, we could.
Recording. We're
could
definitely
do that.
not going to do that. That's just bad form. It's
No.
extremely rude to our listeners who should be doing this instead.
Look it up and send us your emails.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we will have a corrections reel on our next episode.
Yes.
You know, it's good to be hopeful.
Yeah. Isaac, how was your day today? I feel like we're doing this podcast backwards.
Yeah, you know, maybe I should just do my day all over again. I wouldn't mind that. I hung out. I woke up extremely late.
Mm-hmm.
Very dehydrated. My room gets extraordinarily muggy. It has two windows. One is on the ceiling and one is on the wall.
When did you have to be up?
I didn't have to be up until 11 p.m., technically. You're the only commitment I had today.
Well, then I guess you didn't really wake up late because you weren't late to anything.
I think 4 p.m. is still pretty late by most people's standards. Yeah. And you know, like my room is is basically a bowl. It's on the top floor and it's got an arch and there's no attic, so my room is the attic, so it traps all the house's heat in it and all the house's humidity.
You have a window on your ceiling?
Yeah, I have a skylight.
Ooh,
is what they're called.
Fancy.
Yeah, but it's not enough to not make my room a muggy hell.
You can't get like a nice crosswind going?
No crosswinds.
It's officially summer.
Yes, as of 2 days ago, we are already past the longest days of the year.
I don't know how I feel
It's only
going
to get worse from here on out.
I'm not really a fan of summer.
Why not?
It's too hot and muggy. There's no sports to watch. Because now there's nothing. There's...
Oh, there's not even the Olympics. There's the Olympic tryouts.
What am I going to watch? Regular season baseball? Like even the players are bored.
You could watch esports. There's always esports going on. You know, StarCraft 2 is really kind of having its heyday all over again. It's ballooning in a very large way. And the rest of their hands, and they're working out their mind. Can you perform 500 actions a minute for 20 minutes?
Getting carpal tunnel.
In anything?
For how long?
For 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Do it right now. Prove it.
What, play video games for 20 minutes?
Yeah, while maintaining a peak speed of 500 inputs a minute.
I could probably do that playing NBA Jam.
Okay. So do that. You do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, multiply that by 2. Because there's 2 players. Also,
like Unreal Tournament, I was pretty good at. I used to play that for hours.
That game was very unrealistic.
Well, yeah. It's supposed to be.
Yeah. So they did a good job.
Yeah.
Making that game. It's what it was supposed to be.
Are you knocking Unreal?
I never played Unreal Tournament.
Oh, it's great. One of the best. And I don't even like first-person shooters. Like, I suck at Call of Duty. I think that's why I was so good at Unreal, is because it's so unrealistic. Like, when I play Call of Duty, people are just like, why are you using that gun? What gun I never even heard of.
Yeah, you want to use a gun because it, like, vomits plasma all over a room, you know?
Where's my pulse rifle? I need my flak cannon. Just stuff that it's not even a thing.
Yeah.
Where's my rocket launcher? Even though that is a thing. Yeah, I like that type of stuff. That's cool.
Sure.
For some reason, I just can't get I can't get Call of Duty and Battlefield down.
Yeah, well, it doesn't help that a lot of those player bases are very toxic. They just say terrible things when you're trying to concentrate on killing these virtual people. It's very distracting.
I do like the shit talk, though. It's a big part of it. Very entertaining, and it's fun.
Yeah, I only play MOBAs, unfortunately.
Well, lots of people talking about people's mothers.
Yes, and I'll be honest, like, the fan base is, there's still a lot of trash talk, but it's much more passive-aggressive.
Well, so there's a lot of trolls, too, that are just being trolls.
Yeah, that's true. There's always going to be trolls. They turn to stone in the daylight, so, they gotta retreat to their cave and play video games.
Video games. Well, thank you all for listening to us today.
Yeah, thank you all so much.
That was very nice of you.
Good job. And give yourself a long pat on the back.
Give yourself a nice
Until
shoulder
next
rub
time.
down. Anything else you want to add?
Just be smart, be safe.
Be smart. Yeah, isn't that...
And learn how to swim.
Oh, no, that was Get Smart, that movie. Oh, we'll learn how to swim?
Yeah.
Why?
I think we're all going to need to pretty soon.
The oceans are rising.
Yeah, goodness knows I got to learn.
Oh, and don't get a tattoo if you live in Japan.
Yeah, don't do that. They don't like it.
I'm sure we're very popular in Japan now.
Also, swimming is just very good exercise. The human body has evolved to be able to do it. It has all of these ingrained reflexes. We have webbing between our fingers and toes.
It's very good
we just designed
exercise.
for it.
And also, if your hands get wet for a while, you get little ridges in them.
Yeah, and they help you grip things when you're underwater.
Yeah, they help you swim. That's why your hands get all pruny.
Yeah.
When they get wet for a while. All of a sudden, you swim better. Fun fact.
And if you eat more prunes, your fingers will grow.
Your fingers turn into prunes.
Yeah, and then it helps you swim better.
That's science. That is science right there.
Did you know, I just learned today that someone played Dark Souls all the way through.
What's that?
Using fruit as a controller.
What? Wait, what is Dark Souls?
So Dark Souls is a fairly popular game franchise. It's a video game. It's a fantasy video game. You're a fantasy man in this fantasy video game. You're walking around, I don't know, the afterlife or something.
All right.
You can die multiple times. You turn into this horrific corpse, hollow, soulless thing, but you're on this quest to save this dying tragic land or something. I don't know. It's very hard. Everything will kill you if it even looks at you, so you got to be super dodgy. It's a very it's a game with a high degree of difficulty and a high level of immersion. And one man is so good at it that he decided to play this game on controllers made of fruit.
How did he do this?
Well, you know how you can turn a potato into a battery?
Yes.
It's like that. He had a little button in a fruit.
Yeah, but how?
And an electrode going into the fruit and another electrode going into, I don't know, like a splitter or something. And he keyed all these different pieces of fruit to the different buttons on a controller. And then when he wanted to press the buttons, he pressed on the fruit.
Do you think that helped out his game?
I don't know. It is entirely possible
that it hindered him a little bit.
Yes. It's also entirely possible that it helped him cheat. I've never done this myself. I really don't know. People who get that into video games know all sorts of spooky magic about them that I will never comprehend.
That's like, you know how people, like, if they don't have a bowl or something, they'll use an apple to smoke weed out of?
Some people will, yes.
That's like that times 1,000.
Yeah, it's a good way to get fruit lung.
It's like, oh shit, I don't want to have a controller. You have a banana?
But you do have a bunch of electrodes and diodes and like buttons that interface with fruit. You just don't have an actual controller. You're like an electrical engineer or something. Who the hell knows? Anyways, it sounds like a fantastically entertaining video, and I really would love to watch it before I go to bed tonight.
Well, my friend, you'll have an opportunity to do that because you didn't wake up till 4. So you're probably not tired. Or you might be tired. I don't know.
We'll see. I try to cultivate a certain amount of exhaustion personally. As for the rest of you out there, whether it's morning, noon, or night, I wish you sweet dreams.
I hope you have a dream catcher, even though they don't work and they're a sham.
Yeah, what happens if you don't have a dream catcher?
You have dreams.
Oh.
Are they supposed to prevent bad dreams?
I thought they stopped you from getting infected with those like butt slugs from that Stephen King movie.
I think that might just be a myth. Oh, Dreamcatcher.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you think I was talking about? Stove Wolf?
They filmed that at Quabbin Reservoir.
They did indeed in our home state of Massachusetts.
Yep, come stalk us. Although I won't tell you my address.
Yeah,
I'll not do that.
Would be dangerous.
Or I could just bleep it out.
Well, I think we've reached the end of today's material. Incredibly precocious, like you know,
Lots
in
of
Dune,
concentration.
In Dune, Muad'Dib's little baby sister, who's like a 2-year-old baby, and she's already like coming out and talking shit at Baron Harkonnen.
Are you talking about the book of the show?
Either.
Oh, I didn't watch or read that. So.
Well, then neither, I guess. Jesus Christ, dude.
I just know that it's a book in the show.
And
they like spice. They
do love that spice. You gotta get spicy.
And they're running away from giant worms.
Yeah. Sometimes they run towards them.
That's a dumb idea.
Could be. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Paint my brush, stroke of venom, now my heart can gush. Hate can cuss, confuse us. Confucius said this is how we love and lust. See, I must, cousin got my family, they place their trust. Reaching for the top, you know I'm so close. Pulling on my back cause I'm the holder. Game is all broken, but I hold her. Put all in my street and that's a no-go. Chopper hit the maze and that's a low blow. Manifesting destiny, I'm so close. Reaching for the top, you know I'm so close. Ready, dead, set, go when we about to get it on. Fire laying on these slimy streets will surely get you gone. Aces in my hand, so you know I'm the flush you weighing on. Calibration on my level, leave you naysayers gone. Glue all in my lungs, cause when I'm puffing hella strong. Praying on my downfall, leave you niggas weighing hella long. This ain't from the last days, we living in end times. I walk amongst the dead, call your man's red crimes. Pressing charges on me, but not committed no crimes. Racism or law, I guess that's just a blurred line. Lying on the ones you serve, racking up your state fines. Your servitude is empty, happiness ain't what you find. Reaching for the top, you know I'm so close. Putting on my back cause I'm the holder. Game is all broken, but I hold her. Put all in my street and that's a no-go. Chopper hit the maze and that's a low blow. Manifesting destiny, I'm so close.